This TCE Trims edition of the College Baseball Experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up today with the promo code TCESGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. What is going on, everybody? My name is Noah Bieniek, and third time's the charm, for those that know. Did this show, attempted to do the show on mute for about 3 minutes. Yesterday, couldn't get through the show because my allergies were bothering me too much and my Wi-Fi sucked. Third time is the charm here on the college baseball experience and what's going on. I'm kicking off a news series. TCE Trims, we did this college basketball preseason, doing this college baseball preseason too, with the goal of uploading regular episodes each week up until opening day of college baseball on February 14th, whether that be one of these type of news episodes or it could be a team preview. I'm looking to preview, do deep dives on each SEC and ACC team, hopefully prior to opening day. And if we get through both SEC and ACC, my next goal would be to hit on some teams that have huge fan bases that are not in those two conferences. I know Oregon State would be eager for a team preview. I know East Carolina would love one. I know fans of Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, would also love one of these team previews that I have planned. So we'll have those, the Holy Grail Conference previews that we are going to be doing starting next week, each Wednesday from here on out until opening day. Also, we could be doing some win totals episodes if those hit the futures market once again. We'll be diving into each conference's individual schedules for all these teams and finding out what possible records all of them could be going on. But the TCE Trim series allows us to trim out, for lack of a better term, the biggest news headlines for our sport, provide our own insight and analysis on it. And the ABCA convention was just the last weekend, and there were big storylines from that weekend that are going to help us with news topics throughout the preseason here. Plenty of them that I'll be able to get to. But on Monday, the first Monday of 2025, Perfect Game, we're the first ones to market with a college baseball top 25. That's going to be the main focus of this show. But first, I did want to touch on some of the rule changes that might be coming to college baseball that came out during the ABCA convention when they were talking about this during the D1 coaches meeting and the NCAA coaches meeting. Noah Darling tweeted this out, a good friend of mine who's currently in the college baseball experience fantasy draft. Yes, you heard that correctly. That is returning this year. And we acquired a couple of other college baseball content creators for that, Noah Darling being one of them. He tweeted this out from the ABCA convention where coaches were discussing possible changes to the college baseball rules for the 2025 season and beyond outside of roster sizes, which to my knowledge, I know that's going to dominate a lot of the talk here in the preseason. We'll be able to get to that. Plenty of days when it might be a little bit less newsworthy, but also there's not other news that might come out. So anyways, not listed on this, which I've heard will be universal in college baseball this year, is the double bag over at first base, the safety bag, as some others have called it. Basically, I used it playing growing up. I hope a lot of people are familiar with this. To me, it's not a obscure, extreme concept whatsoever. You have a first base in foul territory and a first base in fair territory. All right. So what this does is, one, it eliminates collisions. So hopefully the goal here is to limit injury. But second of all, it eliminates the worst rule in baseball, in my opinion, which is the 45-foot line. So halfway down the first base line, there is a runner's lane that then begins. And if you're a right-handed hitter, you're batting in fair territory. Then you have to run into foul territory, then run back into fair territory to tag first base. It always made no sense to me. My teams would always get screwed on it, apparently. Like when I was coming up through the travel ball scene and in high school, we had this called on us numerous times because you were always taught to just run down the line, make the catcher go inside or outside on either bunts, drop third strikes, pass balls, make the decision to throw outside of you or inside of you. That was always the teaching process behind this. Now with the bag and foul territory, you have a strict rule now where you are running in foul territory. There is no reason to ever be in fair territory or on the line. Just get in foul territory, run in a straight line, hit that bag on the outside, plus it avoids the collisions. And then on drop third strike, if it gets past the catcher, the first baseman sees that and wants to get out of the foul bag. And then the runner knows then to hit the bag in fair territory. It's a pretty easy concept. Teams are going to practice this over the next month. There shouldn't be any, in my opinion, any issues with this whatsoever if all is smoothened out and we do this correctly. So the first one here on Noah Darling's tweet is the 10-run rule, which honestly it was in SEC regular season play last year. No issue with it at all. It just kind of got, it was totally understood. Probably like through week 6 that that was the case, and it limits pitcher usage throughout the entire weekend because you're playing the 3-game series there. So that helps with the arm injuries for sure. It hurts my branding because I like to tweet out the occasional blowout graphic where a team wins by 25, but overall, I don't have any huge opinion on it, yes or no. So 10-run rule might be universal here to college baseball. Runner on second in extra innings. To me, I am not the greatest fan of this. And again, it kind of has the same purpose as the 10-run rule. It's supposed to limit arm injuries, limit pitcher usage throughout an entire weekend, not just that one game, but because of the amount of arms you might have to use in 3 games in 3 days. They want to end games quicker. In my opinion, this is where depth matters in college, in baseball in general. I don't really love it in the MLB either. Um, the teams that lack depth pitching get an inherited bump here, in my opinion. The ones that might not have a huge, strong bullpen and where the games will technically maybe even end quicker. I think that benefits those type of teams, and I think it's um, an unfair competition, for lack of a better term that I can't come up with right now. The third one, definitely unfair to the field of competition, is technology and dugouts. Look, when it comes to the top of the top, this is who's pushing this. The teams in the SEC, the programs in the SEC, ACC, Big 12, even Big 10, because they've got the money to do this, to implement, technology, whether it be, um, you know, whatever, like the tablets. I know PitchCom for every school has been tough for each program to get their hands on because of the amount of funds across the nation in college baseball. It is not one of your traditional revenue sports. So um, athletic departments and institutions struggle to really commit financially to the sport of baseball. And this is a hurdle for 70% of the college baseball teams in the country. Um, I am not the biggest fan of that. Uh, so yeah, I think that would definitely affect the field of play and competition, um, 100% throughout the year. So those are my opinions on those 3 rules that Noah Darling tweeted out. Then they were talking about in the ABCA convention, also double bag, which I'm psyched about coming up here uh, soon in college baseball, hopefully 2025, but if not 25, 26 and beyond. Before we get to that top 25 conversation here on today's show, the NFL playoffs are here. Make sure you tune into the Sports Gambling Podcast for all of your NFL takes and picks, props. Also, you can view the crew's picks and listen to the entire network's catalog of podcasts for free over on the SGPN app. It's free to download in the Google Play and Apple app stores. Um, Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. You could you bet we are getting on the action over at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official partner of sports betting in the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is the key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That is code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you just bet $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Underdog Fantasy has Pick'em for most menus, one of the biggest menus in all of sports for DFS. Underdog is always making it easier to win with profit boosts, and Gimme Pick'em's Underdog Playoff Best Ball is now live. The Gauntlet Tournament has $2 million in prizes up for grabs for just a $25 entry. NFL, college football, college basketball, MMA, NBA, NHL, NASCAR, and more over on Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. You can now use specials and boosts on all flexed entries. Sign up today with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. And we are back here on the College Baseball Experience, checking in on the chat. Feels Bad Man said, yeah, I broke my shoulder/growth plate getting railroaded at first. He is all for the double back. I think it's just a great addition for the game and many different facets. Let's talk about Perfect Game and top 25, their release here. They were the first to market here, so it created plenty of discussion last night. Yesterday, I attempted to do this like 2 hours after the release. Again, like I said, it was a failed show, one of 2 failed shows on this very topic. We're going for take 3 here. It's still pretty early. The season's 39 days away, but we've got Texas A&M as Perfect Game's number 1 overall team, LSU 2, Virginia 3, Georgia 4, Tennessee 5, Florida State 6, Texas 7, Clemson 8, Duke 9, Oregon State 10, Florida 11, Arizona 12, Arkansas 13, Oregon 14, Vanderbilt 15, Wake Forest 16, Dallas Baptist 17, TCU 18, North Carolina 19, Oklahoma 20, West Virginia 21, Auburn 22, Coastal Carolina 23, UCSB 24, and Oklahoma State 25. Now, I'm not going to give an opinion or a take on every single team here, as I fundamentally don't believe in a preseason top 25. I think that when you establish expectations on these teams and maybe they don't perform up to them, people seem to be hesitant to, re-rank the top 25. I kind of want to see what happens on the field, but top 25s create content, and I am in the content business. I totally understand the purpose of these things. I'm going to do a couple of where I have my main opinions of where maybe Perfect Game went wrong. And yeah, I'll have plenty more preseason content, giving out my opinions on these teams coming up here throughout the preseason. But in no world right now do I think Arkansas should be outside the preseason top 10. Hell, I'd probably have the Hogs inside my preseason top 5 right now. We're talking about a program that has won 5 SEC West division titles in the last 6 seasons. Now, I know SEC divisions are going away, but Dave Van Horn He's had 7 straight 40-win seasons, still has one of the best pitching staffs in the country. Entering this season with Gabe Gackle as the projected ace, Zach Root transferring in from East Carolina, Landon Beidelshees, Ohio State's Friday starter, coming into Fayetteville. They also have Gage Wood, Will McIntyre, Christian Fouch, all returning in that bullpen as prominent pieces. Not to mention Kendall Dix is back for his senior year alongside Ryder Helfrich, Vahiva Aloy, who had great summers in the Cape Cod League. Arkansas at 13, in my opinion, just too low. The other thing that sticks out to me like a sore thumb here is North Carolina being too low at 19. Look, I know the Tar Heels lost some huge pieces to that offense, but they reloaded through the transfer portal and they return a lot on that pitching staff. UNC had a couple of freshmen that were tossed tossed to the Wolves last year as starting pitchers in the ACC in Folger Boaz and Jason DeCaro, and they both did quite well. Jake Knapp was supposed to be this team's preseason Friday starter last year, but he went down with a season-ending injury. He's going to be back to pitch alongside the squad this season. So those three, all with Friday experience in the ACC, all back. The entire back end of the bullpen was very good last year. They returned some pieces. North Carolina needs to be higher than 19, in my opinion here. Other discrepancies that I have right now, I think Texas and Clemson might be a bit too high. Not sure if they're top 10 teams right now in my eyes. I would not even have West Virginia, Auburn, Coastal Carolina, or UC Santa Barbara ranked right now. And by virtue of that, Oklahoma State, I think they should be inside the top 20. I think they're the best team in the Big 12 this season. Now, I can't have my way and pick on the only 25 schools that they've listed. I'll give you a team that is not in this top 25 that I think probably should be there. That's Stanford. 2024 was a rebuilding season for the Cardinal, but I think David Esker and his boys are worthy of ranking in the preseason here for the upcoming year. And yeah, that wraps up the show here. Feels bad, man. And Auburn fan in the chat says, yeah, the Tigers shouldn't be in there. Justin Rainey tuning in, Joey Lobster here as well, talking about Pete Rose drunk in a softball beer league. So yeah, hell of a show today. That wraps up this episode, the first episode of TCE Trims here in the preseason. If there's a topic that you guys, the listeners and viewers, would like to hear more on from me, leave it in the YouTube comments below, or hit me up on Twitter/X, NoahB77_, or the show's Twitter/X at TCE on SGPN. I'm going to be here every day throughout the offseason, providing daily news episodes, team previews, conference previews, which will begin next week, Wednesday, with the ACC. Here on the YouTube channel, we have everything sorted into a nice playlist for all of you guys that might be strictly looking to binge college baseball previews or these TCE trims. Also, in the various playlists, you can find the college basketball experience. Every single night, we're giving out college basketball picks against the spread. College football experience, the Big 12 college experience, the FCS college football experience, which just wrapped up Monday night. If you scroll our YouTube channel a little bit further, you can find more SGPN shows, as we've got something for everybody. MMA gambling podcast, NBA gambling podcast, golf gambling podcast, F1, NHL, or if none of those shows really get into your fancy and you want a main show that dips their toes into every big event throughout the sports calendar while also hitting home on the NFL, one of the best shows out there. It's the flagship show of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, the Sports Gambling Podcast. Do us one more favor as we head out of here. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, as we're shooting for 15,000 right here on the channel. Leave a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast. This has been the College Baseball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.